Hello and welcome to the Redmen TV. I'm Chris Page. And once again, Si's forgotten to mute his mic. Happens at least once a week. Why not get it out the way on Monday? Okay, look at the thumbnail. How boss was that thumbnail? I know he's had to look at it for quite some time and stuff, but let's not pretend you don't want me to talk about Phil Coutinho first. You do, don't you? You want me to talk about how Jurgen Klopp in the press conference in Germany has come out and said he's 100% not for sale. It's not for interpretation. That's what it's about. That's what Liverpool fans have needed. We've had a struggle, with bringing in players. We've wanted Naby Keita, we've wanted Virgil van Dijk all summer, and it doesn't look like the Naby Keita one's going to come true. RB Leipzig have said exactly the type of stuff that Klopp come out and said today. So me as a Liverpool fan, I am absolutely made up to hear that Jurgen Klopp is saying Coutinho is going nowhere. You know why I'm made up? Because he's absolutely brilliant. I think it would be a step backwards for Liverpool as a football club if we were to sell him. I don't think he's our best player, but I think he's certainly one of our most influential, and he can go on to be one of the best players in world football. You only have to look at his performances this pre-season, his 2 goals that he set up for Mo Salah, to see that there's that understanding there. There's an understanding that he had with Daniel Sturridge back in 13-14, where Sturridge always showed a willingness to get in behind defences if they were sat up high, with a high line and stuff. And Salah's obviously exactly the same. He's a really fast guy. He wants to get in behind the defence. And Coutinho's the man who can pick that ball out and put it on a platter for him. We've seen it twice already this pre-season. I'm going to dive straight into the comments because I'm sure they'll be going mental now with people talking about Phil Coutinho. So let's have a look. Simon, Eon, Coutinho not going. Yes. Crisono Sumil Kute, that's right. We aren't selling. Coutinho says press Goku. Hi Chris says the Salah. There's just loads of people. Chris, I've commented on a few of your last videos asking your opinion on my Salah song. Either you don't like it or haven't seen it. What's your thoughts, mate? Ted, Steve and Southern. It's not really Coutinho stuff, but I've not seen it, so I've not got really any thoughts on it, to be honest. But feel free to email that to me, interact@theredmentv.com. Not as much talk about for Coutinho. Here we go. Pepsi Gaming. Coutinho makes Salah and Mane look better. He glosses the whole team. I like that. I like that way of describing him, Pepsi. I think that's a brilliant way, isn't it? Yeah, he's a fairy dust on top of an already great Liverpool side. So thanks for your comment, mate. Wrigley Mix says, who is/are the best player, Chris, in your opinion? Be careful now. I think Sadio Mane was our best player. I think Sadio Mane was our best player last season, full stop. I think he was our most influential player. I think he was our top goal scorer. He was involved in everything that we did when we were playing well. He was there, he was stretching defences, he was creating space for other players. That's what Sadio Mane did last season. Phil Coutinho had a dip after his injury. If you forget last season, where 3, 4, 5 weeks he was really struggling to perform at the level that he did pre-injury. Pre-injury was unbelievable, but Sadio Mane did it for much longer over the course of the season for me. James Killick in Munich, Chris, any chance of being told where Paul is? He's at the Allianz Arena now, I believe. I've just seen a photo on Instagram. If you're struggling to find Paul Machin, follow him on Twitter, follow him on Instagram, follow the Redmen TV on both of them, and you'll no doubt find him. Okay, we'll go on to some news. Oh, Mr. The Legend says, Boss Channel, thank you very much, mate. Okay, I'm just going to go into some bullshit news because it's going to make me feel really good. Phil Coutinho is almost certain to join Barcelona, according to Qatar newspaper Sport. Fuck off. Thank you very much for that. In response, Liverpool reportedly considering a move for Arsenal target Monaco player Thomas Lemar. Bullshit. Thank you very much. Southampton are optimistic that Virgil van Dijk will accept the fact that he won't be sold this week, according to the Daily Echo. Bullshit. James Pearce from the Echo is actually reporting right now, today in fact, that Van Dijk has got showdown talks with Pellegrino this week. Now, Pellegrino and Southampton obviously are optimistic that Virgil van Dijk will stick around. £60 million says he doesn't, and I think that £60 million will be coming from Liverpool. I'm not going to say if it's this week or not, but I do believe that Virgil van Dijk is going to be taking a strong stance. That's what James Pearce is reporting, is that Virgil van Dijk will apparently go into those talks and tell him that he wants to move, and why wouldn't he? One of the biggest clubs in Wales football is coming in for him. Yes, the mighty Reds. Of course they are. That's what it's all about. Liverpool could end up, after a ridiculous transfer saga all summer long, with Virgil van Dijk. Fingers crossed that that's the case. No one comes in, usurps us in any way, shape or form. Or Van Dijk just gets fed up of talking about Liverpool, like we've got fed up of talking about Naby Keita, and then just goes somewhere else. But look, it's still looking really positive. I still think it's obvious that he wants to play for Klopp for his murmurs and his, and the fact that he did agree to come to us anyway. I'm going to go back into the comments. Brian McMahon Gallagher says Van Dijk or a centre-back of similar stature is essential. I think that's right, isn't it? I think, look, whether we get Van Dijk or not, and I'm still pinning my hopes on us actually getting Van Dijk, I think that regardless of that fact, Liverpool need a centre-back, and if Van Dijk's unavailable, we're going to have to go out and buy a centre-back this season because, quite honestly, Matip, Lovren, Gomez, Klavan, that's not enough for an assault on 4 competitions, one of them being the Champions League, another being the Premier League. It's just not, it really isn't. So we'll go back.
I've got a good question.
Go ahead.
Michael Cook said, with injuries to Gomez, Milner, Ward, Karius, Origi and Trent already in pre-season, do you think there is a problem with the way Liverpool are training?
No, no I don't. I think, you can obviously get muscular injuries. Just look at Bayern Munich. They've lost Boateng, Kimmich, Vidal, Bernat, Robin this pre-season themselves. So I think a lot of teams get these muscular injuries. I think when you look at the Divock Origi one and the Dejan Lovren one, I believe I'm right in saying that both of those were precautionary as well, rather than actual full-on injuries. Actually, the Divock one might be an injury. The Lovren one might be was definitely just a precaution. Look, of course that could be the case, but you do set pre-season up to get you through an entire 9-month-long season, don't you? This isn't about, what's the best way to say it? Setting yourself up to be match fit at the first of the season. That's not what pre-season is about. That's what everybody thinks pre-season is about. It's building those muscles up such that they're ready for a 9-month assault of training games, isn't it? And you've got to work them hard, because anybody who goes to the gym, and quite clearly I'm not one of those people, but anybody who goes to the gym will be able to tell you that muscle strains and all that type of stuff happens when you're exerting yourself, when you either your muscles are tired or when you're exerting yourself and stuff. So it just sounds to me like Liverpool players didn't have the right level of fitness in their bodies, and that they are being worked very, very hard now, and they're being pushed to their limits, which I kind of think is what probably happens at pre-season. Robert Black, super chat. Come on, Reds, fuck off Barcelona. Ha 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 ha. Thank you very much for the chat, mate. Appreciate it, Robert. Much appreciated, mate. Okay. Any good ones, Si?
James Killick has just said, cheers for that, Chris. Do you believe Trent is ready to take the step up as our first choice right back for the start of the season? Likewise with Flano looking like he's staying around for backup.
I do believe he can step up. I do think Nathaniel Clyne's a better right back as it stands right now. I think defensively he's just much better. I think attacking since Trent's got the edge. I can see games where he would be started over Nathaniel Clyne. I think there are games where you would maybe start Trent Alexander-Arnold. I do think though also that, Trent could be a very, very good right back going forwards, or are we gonna, is this, I don't know, it's one of them, isn't it, where do you think Klopp thinks I'm just gonna get him game time here and he's gonna be a centre midfielder? The way he's playing in this pre-season anyway, it could be that he moves forward as a right back and changes positions completely. Hang on a minute. How many super chats have we had today, mate?
We've had 2.
Have we? What was the other one?
Well, Gary Paul.
Go ahead, let me find it. Where was it?
It was a while ago, but there was no text along with the chat.
Gary Paul, £1 super chat. Hasn't said one, mate. But let me see. I believe if you pay only £1, you don't get to say any words, mate. But if you want to, Gary, tell me what you wanted to say. I believe it was about FSG. I've just seen a comment low down. Get the comment in and I'll read it out, mate. Show you there's no agenda. Yeah? Fair enough. Fair enough. Type your comment in, bud. I'll wait 45 seconds. Okay, is Paul in the chat?
Yep.
Excellent. Where is he? Hey, Casper the FG. Positive vibes, everyone. Coutinho isn't leaving. Casper, that's what it's supposed to be about. This isn't a time for FSG out. This is a time for celebrating the fact that Coutinho's staying. If you've got FSG out agenda, sound. Go and post it somewhere else. But no, look, honestly, there was loads and loads of FSG out earlier on, and I don't understand why. But let me know in the comments, and I'll read some of them out, and we'll see why. I'm going to go back onto some of the news anyway. Adam Lallana has been impressed with Sturridge's sharpness and fitness in pre-season, saying that Dan will be the equivalent of 2 new signings, which tells you all you need to know about football players. Can anyone explain to me in the comments why he would be like 2 new signings?
World class when he's fit, isn't he?
Yeah. Is that it? He's just world class when he's fit.
Well, that's all you need to say, isn't it? He's world class.
He's world class. There you go. So we've got Ben off camera there saying that it's because he's world class. So if you sign a world class player, is that the equivalent to 2 new signings? No, it's not. So it's not Ben, basically.
Is it because he can play in 2 positions?
I've no fucking idea. You can't play in 2 positions at once, though, can you, Mr. Lallana? Yeah? If you're watching, Adam, give your head a wobble. That was a ridiculous thing to say. Coming from the man who says loads of ridiculous things live on YouTube every single day.
We've got Olivia Brown saying, what's your opinions on the Spirit of Shankly results?
I'm buzzing, and I was going to come on to that news now. Yeah, I think, let's find the news first of all. Do you know what? I know it anyway. Liverpool fans have voted in favour of rail seating at football grounds. It's not at Anfield. It was voted for on the basis of football grounds in England. So 88% of around about 19,000, I think, people have said that they would want, and they are in favour of rail seating at Anfield. It's about 5% who disagreed. It was about 4% who didn't have enough information to make a proper judgment call. It was about 1%, I think, or maybe 3%, sorry. About 3% of people said that they were against it. I think it's a really positive step for Liverpool fans. I think you've seen the video that I did last week. I do think that everybody needs to be really sensitive on the subject, myself included. This isn't a win for people who are in favour of rail seating at football. Whatever it is, it's a stance of Spirit of Shankly. That's all it is. There have got to be a load of other steps now to be had. There's got to be conversations about the safety of it and all that type of thing. But I think right now it's really positive for me that Spirit of Shankly have taken the lead on this. They've taken ownership of this. But ultimately what I think is really great about what they've done is that they've spoken to HFSG and they've spoken to the HJC regardless, and they've got their opinions on the way. And the fact that it was a really sensible and grown-up discussion, not like you see on social media and stuff like that, where people are just throwing their opinions around. The fact that it was done in a proper stand-up way really is good for me, and I think that's good for Liverpool fans in general and good for football, that Liverpool fans are now going to be able to take part in this conversation and nationwide debate on safe standing, because ultimately we should be at the centre, because we know what happened when there is mismanaged standing at football matches, and you know, look, it wasn't safe standing, it was a completely different thing, but we have to be involved in the conversation, and you know, it does back up my opinion on that. I was in favour of rail seat. I did vote as one of those 19,000, but again, let's just keep it respectful and remember that people have been affected by Hillsborough and are still affected by Hillsborough to this day, and let's not gloat about any of this type of stuff. Ultimately, it's just a conversation that's been had, it's a poll that's been had, and one side has won over another. That's all it is right now. But look, everyone should respect the families and everything, and anybody who feels anything in a different way. CT Football video saying the audio's fucked, is that right?
Yeah, it keeps going down every now and then, but it'll be back up again.
Apologies for the audio. I don't know what's going on with that. It might be the wire. We were having some problems with that in Berlin. Did Gary Paul get back in touch with his comments?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I haven't seen any. I was looking.
Have a little look now while I read some more, if you don't mind, please. Say. Karim Saad said, if we don't manage to get Van Dijk, do you think Klopp might just keep Saka if we don't get another centre-back? No. Look, I would. I think he's a good centre-back. He's not been involved. Klopp just doesn't want him there, and maybe we'll find out when he leaves if there was any more to it than that. But yeah, I don't think so whatsoever. Jamie Bennett, wind your neck in and give your head a wobble. Haha, Barcelona ain't getting Phil. The same reason we ain't getting Keita. Yeah, yeah, probably pretty much right. LFC legend Unlucky Lucas says, who hates Red Bull Leipzig on here? Me. Yeah, pretty much everybody, to be honest. Okay, Paul's gone. Bye, Paul. He's probably gone quite a while ago. Chris asking, is why FSG out? Come on, we are entering August, only made one first team upgrade. Stuart Smith. I feel like I have to talk about this on every single video, and I'm fed up repeating myself. And you know, people who watch every day, and there are a lot of people who watch every day, will know my stance. I'm going to do it really briefly again today. Right now, I'm still on the fence. I'm not FSG in, I'm not FSG out. If Liverpool don't sign what I consider to be relevant and good enough reinforcements by the end of the transfer window, I'll evaluate my position. But right now, Liverpool have tried to sign players. They've tried to sign Virgil van Dijk. They fucked up. They've tried to sign Naby Keita. It seemed like he was never an option. They've signed Mo Salah. I'm really happy with that signing. They've brought in a world-class manager in Jurgen Klopp. They've saved us from administration. We've only won one trophy. I get that. They fucked up loads and loads and loads of things along the way. You know, most recently the Virgil van Dijk stuff, the £77 tickets thing still rankles with me as well. There's loads of for and there's loads against. I could literally argue FSG out on this show every single day if I wanted to, because I can think of enough, but I can always think of enough counterpoints. Right now they seem like good stewards of this football club. They might not be putting the level of investment that I expect. We're not challenging for titles like I want Liverpool to do. That's not me settling on my or lowering or decreasing my expectations in any way. I want Liverpool to win the league every single year. I also think Liverpool have got a side that can challenge for the title. They can challenge for the title now with no other reinforcements. I think they'd lose out in that challenge because of the centre-back stuff. But I don't think Naby Keita, excuse me, is needed as a Liverpool player. I think he's a luxury player that Liverpool had, and that's not to say that I don't think he'd improve us. I think he'd improve us massively. I think I'd rather have a left-back than a Naby Keita in, just in all honesty, although I think James Milner's been all right. So, here we go. That was my opinion on that. Sorry about that.
Adam McKevitt says, if we get rail seating, will the atmosphere be back?
I think the atmosphere will be slightly improved if Anfield were. I think we're a long way off. I think you need to work out where you're putting it first and foremost, and I think, you know, it does have a positive effect because there is a bank of people. I think you know, John Paul from Celtic, the supporters liaison that we spoke to the other week and interviewed, he said that it has a positive effect because you got 3,000 to 5,000 people all standing all game, all singing all game, and that then rolls onto the rest of the stadium. We kind of have, probably not 3,000, but we have that singing section that doesn't quite take over the Kop every single game, but they're singing every single game, so maybe we just need to increase that size. But I imagine that it would increase the atmosphere. I had a really good comment there about FSG, and apologies, I will find it. It was someone who disagreed with me. It was a really good comment though. It was, apologies mate, I have lost it, but I know that the comment basically said celebrating players staying is exactly what you want, is exactly what FSG wants. I think it's a really good point, you know. Ultimately I think whether we have new owners or not, when Barcelona and Real Madrid come in for players, you're worried regardless. You know, ultimately right now, and it pains me to say this, they are bigger clubs than us. They're bigger clubs because they keep winning Champions League and they keep winning domestic leagues and they keep winning trophies. And Liverpool aren't at the moment, you know, and that is part of FSG's problem. But for me, you've got to celebrate things on a journey. It's not just about the end product, you know. For example, people who say you sang we're going to win the league too early in the 13-14 season, I think we're going to win the league, you know, fairly early, a couple of months out before the title, when I started to believe it. When do you sing that song? Do you sing that song on the day of it? Because you've just lost 2 months of being able to sing that song. Am I making any sense here? Ben's looking at me like I'm not making sense. I like to enjoy things on the journey somewhere. I don't just look at them afterwards and go, that was boss, that was a really great season. So when I look forward to a season, I think, oh yeah, we've got the best chances of winning this and winning that and all this type of stuff. And look, I don't know, man. It's one of them. It's what type of a person you are. I can see this as a win, keeping Phil Coutinho, because last week people were thinking that he wasn't. it's not the thing. I think with any owner, if Barcelona come calling, Phil Coutinho could go. Just the way it is, unfortunately. But it was a good comment. I enjoyed talking about it. Jessica Kyle, it was my comment, but all the stay and talk with Phil and Emre is hiding that no deals hurt. It does hurt, Jessica. Apologies, I did forget your name. It does hurt, of course it hurts. But again, the transfer window's not over. So formulate your opinions on the transfer window when the transfer window's done. Yeah, because I tell you what, last year, I've said this before, you know, we were all disappointed with the signings. Wijnaldum, just a shit player from a fucking relegated Newcastle side, left winger. We've got a left winger in Phil Coutinho. Bet you he changed your mind last season though, didn't he? Bet you them signings all look boss by the end of the season. You know why? Because you've judged the transfer window based on a season. You're not judging a transfer window with 4 weeks to go and no game's been played in the Premier League. I think that's a fair point. Yeah? Value. How do you value footballers? Oh, he's not worth 35 million. How do you know? Look at him over his career. Mo Salah, is he good value right now? You're guessing. Judge him after 5 years. You know, you don't look forwards and make your decisions. You look backwards. And I think that's what you've got to do. And right now, Liverpool haven't finished this transfer window. And I'd urge you strongly to view the transfer window after a season. Or view it at the end of the window, at the very, very least, anyway. Okay, I think that's probably us. How long have we been going for?
20 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's probably us for the day. We've got another video to record straight after this. And we've got the Starting 11 predictions show, which I think we'll probably have to move to tomorrow morning, but we might sneak it in around 4:30 this afternoon if we do have a little bit of free time. Okay, thanks very much for watching. I really have enjoyed it. I do enjoy looking through the comments. Even if people don't agree with me, people like Jezza and all that, you know, it's about your opinions and my opinions, about everybody's opinions. That's why we do the show. That's why we take the comments. There's no agenda here. If you've got a comment that I disagree with, I'll read it out. Just before we go, though, we do have a super chat from Northwest Rambler 89, who will see the footage of the Berlin live show. Thanks very much for the comment. The footage, there was a problem with the audio, basically, to get audio working in the actual venue itself, and so that people who paid to watch us live could hear us. We had to nick one of the cables, which meant that the audio that was recorded to the cameras was a bag of balls. So we're going to have a play around with it. We've got a program called Adobe Audition, which will have a little play around with it and see if we can get the audio to some kind of something just half decent. If we can get it half decent, we'll put it on the website. If people want to see a trailer of it, we'll put a trailer of it on YouTube so you can see what the live show was like. But it was fucking wicked. 150 Liverpool fans packed out this little bar, singing, everything, quizzes, interactive games. We had about 50, 60, 70 people queuing up outside who couldn't even get into the bar. It was just fucking booming. If you came along, thanks very much. If you haven't come over and seen Red Men TV Live, don't worry. We will be doing more Red Men TV Lives. We might be taking it on tour later on this season. You never know. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure once again. Don't forget to like the video. Please do like the video. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.